We are so excited today. Today we got a special guest here. And let me tell you, I mean, we love having guests, but this is going to be something that I know you're going to love. You
Yeah.
are going to love it. You and your spouse, I hope you're like listening to this together because it is fixing to just like blow your socks off. It's going to be amazing. But we got special guests here, Tyler Turk from Created with Love here. And let me tell you, he is the founder of this amazing products that just really help unite date nights into your family, keeping you and your spouse connected in a fun, exciting way. So, Tyler, how are you doing, man? Thank you for being here.
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Randall and Scarlett. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about date night. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so excited. So, we always love starting these conversations off with just kind of explaining your dynamics. We're a family podcast, so we love hearing about your family. Like, what's your family makeup? What does that look like?
Yeah. So my wife Michelle and I have been together for 12 years. We just hit that 7-year that mark, and we have a beautiful 2-year-old daughter. And I come from my parents were divorced and then remarried multiple times, and I think that really sparked a passion for relationship building.
Yes.
So yeah.
So you have that blended family dynamic just on the pre, and
I
you're doing
do.
all the work so that it doesn't happen in your family, right? Yeah. Love that.
But that's an amazing thing. Just kind of take a little side note from that. It really is. Whenever we're in blended families, we know kind of you see the challenges that come up, especially being a kid in a blended family. We both were products from blended families as well, growing up in that, and it really does. It challenges you to really help make your relationship not go down those roads. So it really pours into that. So love hearing that.
Yeah.
So what got y'all started with Created with Love? What kind of sparked this thing?
Yeah, it's really I don't know if ironic is the right word, but in 2014, my fiance at the time, Michelle, and I were sitting on the couch, and like this was like a normal day. Nothing. We didn't have an argument before. It was just like a normal. We were just sitting on the couch. I was probably watching Sports Center or something, and and she turned to me super nonchalantly, and she said, "Tyler, why aren't we as romantic as we used to be when we first started dating?" And we were, like I said, we were engaged at that time, so I knew I had to choose my next words wisely.
Yes, smart man.
Yep. But it led to one of the most impactful conversations of our relationship to that point. And, the most powerful thing that came out of it was, we had a strong relationship. We didn't argue a lot. We had a very good foundation, and we still found ourselves at a point where we needed more connection. At the time we were both focusing on school and work and, thinking about building a family and, all these external factors. Unfortunately, the first thing to kind of be put on the back burner was date night and that time together. So we made a commitment. We said, no matter what, we were going to have some sort of unique time together every month. We even, Michelle's very type A. We even had a date night budget category in our savings account.
Love that.
Yeah. And every month we just started to try something new and different and unique and to really build that connection. And what we found was not only were we getting that time, but our relationship as a whole was strengthening. Coincidentally, Michelle was getting her master's degree in marriage and family therapy. She's a licensed marriage therapist. I have a background in design and marketing and entrepreneurship. And so we kind of joined forces and launched in 2014, wondering if other couples could benefit from the same sort of thing. And flash forward today, we're shipping date nights to couples all over the world. So
love that.
In a journey.
Well, I love that y'all didn't run from that conversation, because that in as being a married couple, it's having those tough conversations to where a lot of people may want to be like, oh, I don't want to open up, or I don't want to unpack that. That's scary to kind of have that challenging question, but the two of you faced that together, and like you said, it brought you closer together, right? And really had y'all talking about it to where now you are where you are today. And it's like, man, that to me is just encouraging enough for every blended family listening. Have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
Those tough conversations really will bring you together and help catapult your relationship together.
And Tyler, how long had y'all been dating to that point? You said,
That would have been 4 or 5 years.
So you're like 4 or 5 years
that
in,
we were
and you're
into
engaged,
it.
right?
Yeah.
And that can be some of the hardest. We always hear the 7-year itch. I think there's statistics on around the 6-year mark on just things getting really stagnant in a marriage. And to be able to know that, to see that, to challenge that, and then to push past that to where now you're having you made that a focus. Y'all both said, let's do this. We're going to be intentional. We're going to create a budget. And I even love that, man. That was great. So that's perfect. I love that. Well, what do you think was the hardest part about like dating and everything? You kind of mentioned life just kind of being busy.
Yeah, I think there's a mixture of that, external factors, family, finances, your career, things that we kind of perceive as more important than maybe that date night or that quality time. I think a good analogy is kind of an airplane ride, right? So the lift off, that's the most exciting part. That's where the most stuff is going on, and you really have to pay attention to everything. And then we get into this point in our relationships, with every relationship, where we kind of hit that autopilot mode.
Yeah.
And I think that's the critical part, because even like in our circumstance, even if you're a strong relationship, you hit that autopilot mode, and that's where some of those things can creep in. So that's what we really focus on with our games, is trying to give you a little spontaneity and kind of break that monotony a little bit and break that autopilot mode, just enough to get you connecting.
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
you see pretty much like across the board, like those common excuses in why people aren't having those date nights? Do y'all have that conversation with the people that are buying Created with Love, or like do that like backside research where you're like, okay, these are the typical things?
Yeah, it's mostly financial, time, and the effort, I would say. Like I said, usually we put things above date night, and so if we're going to save money, we kind of see date night as a luxury sometimes, and so that gets put off. So there's a financial side. There's we don't have time to do date night. We're driving kids to soccer practice. I've got this meeting at work. I've got all these different things. It's hard to plan a date night. And then the last part of it is, I say effort, but it's really just the energy it comes up with to creating an experience, something that's really going to make a date night successful. And sometimes we just it's hard for us to put in that effort, and not necessarily maliciously, right? But it's just it takes effort, it takes time, and so that's what we try to focus on as well.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what your boxes do, like each one of those areas, because you're getting the box in, and it has, for one, that you can do the date at your house, so you're not having to get a sitter and go out and spend even more money on that. You're getting to just have it delivered to you, so then it makes it easy for you as well, right? And like when we did the retro game show, it has those questions that are already built into it, and really like you could break that date up into a whole month. I know you said you and Michelle, like y'all like to, or at least in the beginning, y'all like to do once a month where you were doing something unique. The way that you put that stuff in your date, that you could pull out like a 30 minutes or an hour from that box to do once a week and make it stretch all month long, so that you have your date nights all month planned already with one box.
Well, that's something that's really important to us, is we don't want to be, or we don't want to try and be your only date night. Like we want to help facilitate that connection, and hopefully that leads to more. But what we found was, we did a survey on over 10,000 couples, and what we found was there's a really incremental increase, or a significant increase in the connection that you feel with your spouse, the more quality time you spend with them, like correlation, obviously. But what we found is even 15 minutes a week provides a significant increase in that connection. So what we try and do with our games is, yeah, you can sit down and do it for, an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever, or you can break it down. And if you have 15 minutes a week of just quality couple time, no distractions, just focusing on that connection that builds off of each other.
Yeah, I love that. We had someone on our Instagram just ask, like, shouldn't you know these things about your spouse already? And we were playing the game, and you would think like you would know this, but even the silliest of stuff, like we were playing the beach ball, where you catch the beach ball, and we took it in the pool just to have a little more fun with it. We're bouncing it back and forth, and so we catch it, and he's like, "What's something that happened this week that I don't know about?" And I'm like, turns out I was starting a whole YouTube channel that he did. I didn't tell him just because it was just something silly that I was doing on the side. We have a new grandbaby, and I was like recording me reading to her, and I was like, I'm gonna start a whole YouTube channel using this. He's like, I did not know that.
That's the crazy thing, is that it doesn't matter if you've been together for like a week or 5 decades. There's always something new to learn about your significant other, and that's part of that getting off autopilot mode. We call that discovery. When we have like a formula of like how we create a date night, and that's one of the ingredients is discovery, and that's learning something new about your partner or with your partner.
Yeah, because
there's so much that's still to discover. And even something super small, like what's something you did this week that I don't know about, or what type of food are you really craving right now, or just those small things that make you feel connected and build that intimacy a little bit.
It's so important. It really is. And that is, like you said, it's one of those things that we get on that autopilot, and we don't ask, we don't, we're tired, we're worn out, life happens, we just things keep going on, and you start putting that relationship on the back burner, that autopilot. But it really does. Whenever you do things like this, like Created with Love, it really starts pulling you together, keeping it fresh, keeping the water stirred up. And that's what we love. Kind of what the two of you have done is created all these date boxes, right? So these are games that, that's one of the things that we always challenge couples with is, don't make it boring, make it fun. We should be having more fun together. We should be enjoying it and playing games and things like that. So could you tell us more about kind of your products and what you have and what's out there, what you do?
Yeah. And really quick on that note, I was listening to episode 89 of Enjoying Your Blended Family. And there was that conversation about joy. And I think you guys were talking about the new Top Gun movie and the football game. But that's the second ingredient of our boxes is joy, because we have the stigma of date night needs to be like serious and romantic and like expensive and this, and we kind of break that mold. And our true belief is laughter and joy is the best way to get to intimacy. And so following up on your question of like what to expect in a box, like was that the question?
Yeah.
So every box is a little bit different. We create a new theme every single month. And we really try and be off the wall and a little bit unique with those themes. So one month you might be, scaling Everest together. The next month you might be Wanted Bandits in the Wild Wild West. One of my favorites is the Stranded in Love box, where you're put in the middle of a jungle in, I think it's Costa Rica, and you have to survive together. And so that kind of, and when we talk about getting off that autopilot mode, that's what we try to do with those unique themes, is kind of break the ice, give you something that's kind of crazy and off the wall, and to really, get into that intimacy. So every month has a different theme. Every month has, a new collection of games or activities. So usually it's 3 to 5 games. They could range from, sometimes it takes an hour, sometimes it takes, 2 hours. Sometimes you could break it down. And we really try and focus on connection and learning something new about your partner, and laughter is one of our most important focal points.
I was very just, I guess, surprised or shocked, I don't know, when I opened the box, like the quality of the stuff inside. I was like, oh, this is manufactured somewhere.
This is perfect. Like, we're coming down on all the different ingredients because that's experience, right? So that's the experience part of our formula. And I think it's something that, we really pay attention to, because we want you to open up that box and just escape for that a little bit of time. And so we want the experience to be crisp. We even, each date comes with a themed Spotify playlist. It comes with recipe challenges, kind of some bonus stuff that you can do together as well. But we really just want to create that experience so that, that leads to, obviously that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love you said we're going down the list, and this was not planned because I didn't realize you had a list of things. You said the first one was,
well, we actually talked about it before, which is time. So the last ingredient is time.
Okay.
And that's, that quality uninterrupted time together. So, the formula for us is time plus experience plus joy plus discovery equals connection. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for just sitting on the couch and watching your favorite shows together. Yeah. But we feel that, for us, a successful date night is that connection, and learning something new about your partner and laughing. And, that's the formula for us.
Yeah. Well, and the sitting on the TV and watching your favorite show, like that is something that, we do enjoy, but we do it. That's one of those autopilot things. That's our unwinding moment together. But in those moments, we are not connecting in that way. We're not having conversations. We're not going deeper. And that's why I love, like, Created with Love. It takes that and it's basically like you're making your own movie. Like what you were just saying, like being in the middle of a deserted island or whatever, you're an island, you have to survive. It's like you're now becoming your own reality show or your own movie, just in that moment with each other and discovering those things.
Yeah, that's exactly. You kind of stole a quote from me. That's what I usually try.
Seriously.
I tell people, it's like we're trying to let you build out your own movie. So that's perfect.
Oh, man.
Well, whenever we played one of the games, and I was impressed with just how much is in there. I mean, it really is. Like you said, there are so many different games within just one of the boxes that, you can break this up into multiple weeks, or, you can do so much. And, the depth that's in there was just amazing to me that you had. But, we always say that it's doing something new together. That's what establishes those deeper connections, those deeper roots. Whenever you're doing something out of the box, it's in the box, but you're taking it out, right? But, it's these things that you wouldn't normally do, watching TV, sitting on the couch, those things are just normal. But whenever you do something like this, you're playing a game, you're creating new experiences, that really forms deeper connections. And that's what we love about this so much. Even that, playing the game with the ball, and then we did the cards. It was like trivia, the Jeopardy trivia cards.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it was so much fun. And I'm not good at that. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not. She is, and she calls me out every time. She's like, yeah, okay.
A timer slows him down for something.
It does. I have this thing with a timer, man.
We bake a little bit of competition into the boxes. I think that's kind of like a fun back and forth, but we always try and play so you both are winners at the end of the game. So
yeah. No, we do. We totally love it. Totally impressed with what you are doing there. Do you have a favorite box, or do you have a couple of favorites that you like, or that you see more people going after, or is it just the new? Or
hang on, we'll be right back. Check this out.
It's time to have some more blended family fun. Yeah. Are you ready?
What was that?
It's my new song. You like it?
Sure, I guess.
Well, it goes along with Enjoy the Journey, our new blended family roadmap to having fun together.
Oh, okay. I get it now. I feel the excitement, but why don't you tell them about it instead of singing it?
Fine, I guess. Let me try. This is a fun journey for your family, a new experience. You could go to the movies again, or you could get this for your family and come out with a new plan that creates more fun opportunities in your family. You'll laugh more, have more fun together, and create lasting memories that keeps your family stronger and healthier. And it's also about having more fun. How was that?
That was pretty good. I know that got them way more excited about the new journey they can go on as a family than your song did.
What? Come on.
You could have also told them that it not only creates more fun their whole family loves doing, but it also adds more fun for their marriage and new fun ways to connect with their kids individually. It's also great for that step-parent relationship. You could have said that too.
I don't think you really appreciated my song.
Aye. Anyways, Enjoy the Journey is ready for your family to start today. The link for more information is in the show notes. Have more family fun and create more lasting memories.
Have more family fun with your blended family and enjoy the journey today. Yeah.
Really? Let's get back to this episode.
Yeah, it's I have a new favorite every month, it seems like. Because every month we learn, like we take, the advice that we're offering and bring it back to the company as well. Like we want to improve, with every experience. But I would say the Stranded in Love is kind of my favorite. It sticks out to me. We get inspiration from all over the place. And, for a period of time, Michelle and I were really hooked on that show, Naked and Afraid. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's just like
I've heard of it, hadn't seen it.
Two people get put in this remote area and have to survive together. So that one was a fun theme. I would say our couples really love the Wanted Partners in Crime, which is, you're both like it's kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type of theme where you're bandits in the Wild West, and there's some games that have to do with that. That one comes with like a mustache too and a handkerchief, and or whatever. Like people love that stuff. So that was fun. I would also say like the Madame Medora's House of Curiosities, which is kind of like a spooky theme, but it's an escape room type box. And what we did with that was there's not a lot of, if any, relationship language in that. So it's perfect for families or friends or because we obviously get a lot of couples that ask for games that they can do with their family. So that's a really good theme for, you can play with just the two of you. You can bring in, your family or friends to play along with you. So those are probably, two fan favorites.
Yeah, I did notice. I mean, the box, it has even the one that we were just talking about with the retro game show. It does have questions that grow you deeper, but our 23-year-old decided to join us in the pool while we were playing the first game. And it wasn't like intimate questions in those moments where it was like awkward,
Weird,
to have her around.
That's kind of like a little subliminal thing that we think about too, is like we don't want it to be, because you see a lot of couples games and it's kind of like they're kind of weird sometimes and awkward and just taboo or whatever. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like we wanted something that's a little bit more focused on fun. And then we also, most of our couples have kids, and that are still living in the house with them. So we always kind of in the back of our mind think about that too when we're developing games. Is there's always usually one or two games that you can play with your family, or you can switch up a little bit to make it family oriented. So
and the themes are I really do just love the themes, because like I saw like there's an arcade one, so just seeing that I'm like, really whatever kind of like interest you have, because we're real big on like find your common interest. And so if you and your spouse, like I think of my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, and they love playing video games together. So that's the type of thing like they would gravitate, right? Because that's their interest already. But then it's also something that if we wanted to explore something new that we could dig into, and it's just built in a way that we can have fun and get those questions and create that moment with each other, with that quality time, regardless if that's actually our interest or not. So are the games always available? Like all games, once you create them, they're on your website and they can go get that?
I mean, I guess that's the good and bad of it, is because we're mostly subscription focused. We come up with a new theme every month, and then we ship that to all our subscribers and then have it available on our site. And what sells out, we typically don't bring it back unless it's unless people really ask for it. And there are a few themes that we brought back a few times. So we're working on the future of like bringing back some of those. But yeah, we really try and we're coming up with something new every month. So
is it only subscription based, or so you can go buy one, like if whatever this month is, I was interested in it, I go buy that. But for the most part, y'all have the people that are on a monthly mailing list, and they get their game shipped to them every month?
Yeah, so you can subscribe. You get a monthly date night every month, but we also do have single purchase, like you can just buy one box at a time. We also have, card games that are focused on building that relationship. We have family games as well. We have a laughing at dad jokes party game, which is one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites to create, especially as a new dad. So that's been really popular. But we try to have a little bit of something for every circumstance. But yeah, you can do either.
Okay.
When I love hearing your story too, just kind of that. Well, I think I'd read that whenever you and your wife first started this, like you had your apartment or your house, y'all were kind of working in there. Y'all had so many boxes you couldn't even put a Christmas tree, and so y'all made a Christmas tree out of the boxes, right?
Out of boxes, yeah. It was about that time that Michelle had said, "You got to get this stuff out of here." So that launched us getting our first office. But yeah, it's been a journey, and it's been hard. I always say that I have the luckiest job in the world because I get to date my wife as my job. Like we get to come up with all these games and ideas. It's helped me become better father, a better husband, and hearing even just playing a small part in some of our couples' lives and experiences has just been made it all worth it. So
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And it what you're doing, it really is. I just know by these products and the content that you have in there is special. It really is. And just even us playing the game, how we were continuing to learn more about each other, and that's the power in this. That's the beauty in it, is whenever you can do these new things and have these experiences together, you continue drawing closer and closer to your spouse. You're taking it off autopilot, taking life by the wheel, and you get to navigate that. And that's so cool, so amazing. So we really do appreciate what you're doing and what you're doing for couples out there. It really does help keep us strong and keep us learning and growing together. So
what would you say if there's a couple that's wanting to start getting these date nights, but they're struggling to get it like started and going? Like what would be like step one to making it happen? Like when you and Michelle were struggling with that, like what was that like? Let's get this off the ground.
Yeah, I think step one is kind of like admitting that you need to focus on it, right? So the conversation that Michelle and I had, it's like, why aren't we having as much fun as we had when we were beginning of our relationship? So I think step one is just getting on the same page with your spouse of like, hey, we need to invest some time into this. We need to get connected more. And then I think step two is, even starting with 15 minutes a week. We have this kind of like before bed concept where it's like, but 15 minutes before bed, even, break out some conversation starters or play a little game or do something. And then, that'll build off of it. And then I wowould say, the creative in me is like, look at like what you're doing now in your relationship, and what you do. Like, for example, if you sit on the couch and you watch a lot of shows together and you're not really feeling that connection, well, how can you bring more connection just to stuff that you're doing on a regular basis? So, we came up with, I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Mix It Up date night generator, where you draw different cards, put them together, and it gives you like a dinner and a movie challenge. Based on like watching a movie and making dinner together. So kind of bringing that spontaneity to that. So look for things that you do already, and like, how can you spice those up a little bit? And how can you bring some more quality time and connection to those two? And then, look for whether it's, a Creative with Love box, there's a lot of games and products out there that make it easier for you to connect with your spouse. So
yeah. Love that. And I love it, not just everything that you put into these boxes, but you keep it new, you keep it fresh, you keep it exciting, and it's so affordable at that. So, it's kind of one of those, it's like such a great gift of what you're doing. So I really do. We were excited to play it, and that's so much fun, so man, great stuff. So how can our listeners, how can they get a hold of a box, or how can they grab a subscription? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, you can find us on Amazon. You can go to our website. If you go to our website, cratedwithlove.com. So crated, like you're putting stuff into a crate. And use the code blended. We're actually offering 25% off.
Oh,
your
wow.
first
Thank
order.
you. Yes,
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
first order,
yeah.
okay, that is awesome.
yeah. So you can subscribe. You can buy one box. You can buy a card game that'll work on anything that you're looking at. So
Okay, sweet. Well, we
Perfect.
will put that in the show notes as well. So
Yeah.
listeners, you got to go check that out. I mean, blended 25% off to get you started.
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, golly, you can't beat that. And it is so worth it.
And just, and y'all said it just slightly in what y'all were saying a second ago. This, I mean, for yourself is incredible, but think about like when you're getting gifts for people, it's a wedding gift, it's wedding season right now, and we give the typical stuff or whatever, but going and finding something like this that's going to establish that date night, that connection from the beginning. Or even if like we have our kids going into that, they're growing up and they're starting their own families, and to give them that gift of quality time with their significant other, and even say, hey, I'll watch the kids, so y'all go have some time together. Like there's so many options. I think sometimes we get stuck on like, oh, let me go buy this, and okay, well, I've already done it, but now you can actually go get it and keep giving the gift of love to other people as well.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you.
What is right before we wrap things up? I got to know what's the latest and greatest right now. What's y'all's?
Oh, like what are y'all working on?
Yeah,
Like, for next-
Yeah, so
like
we
interesting.
just finished our first Kickstarter campaign. We've never done Kickstarter before, but we have a new spin the bottle game for couples.
Oh, I saw that.
And like the tagline is, the couples game you don't need to hide under your bed. So it's focused on intimacy and like getting, it's a little bit more intimate than some of our other games, but it's not like over the top weird or
It doesn't
awkward
have like a
sometimes.
heart bed.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Like it's still focused on those 4 ingredients, right? It's still focused on laughter and discovery and all that stuff. So that's really fun. We're going to be launching that for the world here in the next couple weeks. So you'll be able to look at that. But yeah, those look really good. It's kind of like just a classic spin the bottle game, but we added our Creative with Love twist to it. So I'm excited for that.
That's awesome, because I bet a lot of couples have not played Spin the Bottle. I mean, I have played Spin the Bottle in my time, to admit.
It's just for 2 people, just you and your partner.
With other 7th grade boys and girls.
Yeah.
To be able to take that moment and bring it to someone you actually have a connection with. How fun.
Well, and the box too is like 90s inspired too, so you get a little bit of nostalgia with it too. So it's
Love
fun.
it.
I'm excited for that game.
We love themes, everything, like even the movie night generator thing. We love movie night themes, and so to be able to take the dinners and stuff like that and connect it. So yeah, I mean, what y'all are doing is like, we're your ideal people right here.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. Just continue keeping up the great work, and just know that your products are a blessing to families out there, to couples out there. So we thank you for taking the time to come up on here and just share kind of your gift to the world. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you both for having me.
Well, enjoying your blended family. I'm telling you, blended, go get 25% off your first purchase and get started. I'm telling you, these games are so worth it. They really are. They're going to add so much laughter. I know we were laughing. We were having a blast. You're going to learn so much more. You're going to discover so much more about each other. And as Tyler's saying, just 15 minutes a week makes a huge difference in your marriage. So if you could imagine even more than that, so you take these games, let this be just part of what you're using to continue growing and connecting together. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. You're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. So keep it up. But love you guys, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
When you join, we also want to give you a free gift, so go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day, and remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.